Hey, all you YouTubers. This is Razor Ray from Razorworks. Um, I thought I'd demonstrate a little turning operation that I'm making. I call these threaded tapered nuts, if you will. And they are to hold my plate for my shear so I can paint the damn thing. And so as you can see right here, I've already started this one. So I'm tapering this down to a certain dimension on the face. So the face of my dimension, I have the perfect tool here to help demonstrate this. Oh wow, look at there, this nice little brass thing. Got this from Randy, so we would utilize it. And anyway, so now my nice trusty pointer. So this dimension across here has to be a certain size in order to fit into the plate that I'm going to be hanging for painting. So as you can see, I've got my compound set at, I don't know, some ridiculous small angle. Let's see what it is set at. It looks like I don't know, I can't read it. Clean off the chips there. Well, it's beyond my zero mark, and the first number is 90, so I would guess that I'm probably 110, 115 degrees that way. Anyway, just thought I'd show a little clip here of how I make these things. Basically, is what I'm going to do is trim this down, keep cutting the angle until I reach the desired diameter right here, which is going to be just a touch under a ½ inch. And then I'm going to drill and thread this the center to accept a 3/8 what is it, 3/8 16 thread. So without messing around here, let's just get to it. And I probably should be using oil on this, but I'm taking such a small amount each time that this part is not getting hot. And I'm really not worried about my surface finish. This is actually going to be buried into the hole on the plate that the bolt is going to be going through. So, and it's not a critical dimension. I'm just carving away at this thing until I think it'll fit. And then I will drill and tap the center. Okay, so I'll put a little chamfer on this thing right here. Okay, so we'll pop this off. Bring in the tailstock. Digging out my center drill here. That should be good. Give me enough room to drill this thing. And I can tell you guys right now that I have not had any formal training in machining. I understand the feeds and speeds and all that stuff, but for the most part, I just wing it. I've had really good luck so far by doing that. I suppose if I had anything come in here that was critical, then I would have to learn a little bit more about all that stuff. But in the meantime, for what I'm doing, my little unorthodox methods seem to work out quite well. So, that being said, put my little center drill in there, get my hole started. Put some goop on here, one more goop in there. Now this piece I have in here is probably about, I don't know, 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches long. And seeing as I'm going to wind up making several of these things, I'm just going to go ahead and center drill the whole thing. Kind of show you guys how I drill and tap things. That, like I said, is a little bit unorthodox compared to the rest of the guys out there and what I've seen, but it works for me. I've taken a fair bit of time to set up my tooling, which allows me to do this process, to go through this procedure. Now this is when I wish I had a sliding tail sock. It's for this right here. It's just, I hate going in and out, in and out, in and out all the time. But you have to with a small drill bit, otherwise all those chips and those shavings and so forth will bind up on that thing and it will snap. I've been on other forums and people are wondering, well, how come my drill bit snapped when you know, I had lots of oil and stuff on there? Well, that's why, because if those chips don't escape, they got to have somewhere to go, and if they can't get out, then they're just going to pile up on the drill bit, and next thing you know, snap. Then you got to call Bruce to get her out. I think his house call rates are probably a little steep. I don't know about you, but I can't afford the guy to come over here and get my bolt out or my drill bit out. So I run it in about maybe 2.5 turns on the dial, on the crank here, and pull it out, clean it off, lube it up, run it back in there. And I'm probably going to run out of throw on my tailstock here. And I might not be able to drill this thing all the way through. It's going to be close. Okay, that's it. I ran out of tailstock travel. But that's okay. I've got plenty of room in there to at least thread a portion of this thing. But I also need to get the appropriate size drill bit to be able to thread this thing. So you guys probably can't see this, but my my drill index is sitting across the bed of my lathe back here. So I never have to go very far to grab a tool. And that's one thing that I've noticed with a couple of guys, is that they'll be trying to do an operation and they'll say, okay, well, hang on a second, I'll be back. And they have to walk clear across their shop to get a tool or a measuring device or something. Whereas I try to avoid that because walking across the shop takes time. And if you're a production shop or something like that, of course, time is money. So I keep all my drill bits as sharp as possible without having my tool cutter grinder up and going. I can't sharpen my drill bits on that yet. So before I got the tool cutter grinder, I went and bought one of those drill doctors, and that's what I use to keep my bits sharp. And believe it or not, that daggone thing works pretty damn good. So I'll be able to punch through with this drill bit right here. This is a 1/4 inch drill bit right here. And I'm not sure what size bit it takes to do a 3/8 tap, but again, Stan's chart is right here, within easy reach. And I will look it up. So go in here and clean this out. Okay. So this should get me through right here. No, not quite. And like I said before, you don't want to force the drill bit through there. You think you're almost done, and you only got a little bit more, I can just go, and then all of a sudden snap, and you just go, oh man, there goes your drill bit. And all the time you spent to get your part to that point where the damn thing breaks. So you definitely wind up losing money in the end if you try to rush things. So I've drilled a few holes in my day. I know how that works. Lots of goop on there. seems to run forever inside here. I thought I'd be through by now. There we go, finally. Okay. I always clean up my drill bits before they go back in the case. If I have any bumps or any hiccups on the thing like I do right now, I would just take my files, just give that a quick once over, so the drill bit will go back in its spot. And yes, my drill bits go in this way, not like Randy that sticks them in this way. Anyway, I remember bringing that to his attention one day when I was over at his house, but that's the way my drill bits go. Alright, so now I still need to find out what size drill bit. So we're going to go 3/8/16. So it looks like I need a 5/16 for 75% thread contact, or the letter O, which I have to walk across the shop and get my letter O drill bit. So I will be back in a second. Okay, letter O. Those are the fractionals. Here's the letter bits. And yes, that is a complete set. Every one of them. Put those guys over there. Get my drill in here. And I don't know if you guys can tell, but my machine here runs pretty quiet, and I'm proud of myself for making it do that. I've done a lot of work on this thing, dialing things in, figuring things out, minor changes, and as you can see, it runs literally, I tell people it runs like a damn sewing machine. And here's these long stringy chips that you guys are all bent out of shape over. Okay, ran out of tailstock. It's easy to run that thing in there when you pre-drill it. Okay, done. Alright, so that's done. Clean up the drill bit. No chips, still in good shape. back in his home. Give this a little chamfer here. Just like that. Okay, so now is what we do is we set up our, oops, wrong one. I'm thinking dye instead of tap. So let me go grab my tap, and it should be right here, somewhere down here. Let's see here. Okay, 3/8/16. Which I believe, nope, that's 5/16. Okay, 3/8/16. Okay, and again, I don't know how badly you guys are going to frown on this, but again, this is the way that that I do it. It's been very successful for me. I have yet to break a tap by doing it in this manner. So hopefully today won't be the day that I break my very first tap. So we're going to run this up here. We are going to take it out of the high gear, put it in back gear. Okay, and I use Tap Magic for what it's worth when I do any threading operations like this. And you really can't have too much. So make sure everything's clear, and I just push the tailstock up into the piece like so. And as long as it keeps threading, I keep the machine on. Okay, turn it off, reverse. So I'm pulling on the tailstock as it's unwinding. And there we are. Now that, boys and girls, is a perfectly centered tapped hole. It is completely done. I don't have to mess with it at all. I can run a 3/8 bolt in there all day long. So we'll just give that a little shot of air, clean it out. Here's my 3/8 bolt. And of course this thing won't go in there because it's galvanized. So where is my other one? To show that I in fact can put a 3/8 bolt in there without having any issues. Okay, I don't have my other bolt handy. Let's see here. Okay, here you go. I just grabbed another one, but here you go. 3/8/16 all day long. Perfect. You run it in all the way, full depth. Okay, so that's done. Now, the next thing, which I absolutely hate doing, is I have to park this off. Again, I'll leave it in back gear. Run this up to where I think I want to end the nut. Because like I said, this is sitting into the existing hole in my big plate over there. And the whole idea is that I want to bury this inside the metal to a certain point, so hopefully it'll come up like halfway onto the nut here, with the thread going through this thing in this direction. And is what it does is I'm making 2 of these, so they're going to go back to back inside the hole, and the bolt is going to run clear through. So that being said, with these things being threaded, you can adjust them into the metal to where it holds it securely, so there's no slop. And then the existing bolt, like this piece of all thread that I have here, these are going to replace these. And so you run the nuts up there to where you want on the piece of metal, and then these out here will be what I attach my rope, chain, baling wire, whatever to hang this plate. So the plate will be hanging like this, so I can actually paint the damn thing. So it's kind of a lot of work to go through to achieve my paint results, but that's what I do. So if it takes me an extra day to get my project painted, then so be it. So while we got the camera rolling, hopefully it's still rolling, I will go ahead and attempt to park this off in front of you guys. So I make sure my carriage is locked down. My compound is probably a little bit loose on here, and so I will just snug up my gib so it doesn't rock back and forth, because any slop that you have in your compound or the slide itself, the cross slide itself, will interfere with parting operations, and I found that out the hard way. So I kind of lock things down before I get started, and hopefully this will work. It'll be successful. My first time showing this on camera. All right, so slow but steady, lots of oil. And this is regular run-of-the-mill thread cutting oil, the dark thread cutting oil that you can buy, you know, at any pipe supply. I remember Ray Cornelia told me that I think his dad was a machinist, that he used to mix this stuff with diesel fuel. And I have yet to do that to see if it works any better. But I never forgot that tip that he told me that. So I will, one of these days, I'll mix some of this stuff together and give it a shot. see, this takes me a little while to go through this thing. I have a small lathe, I have a small parting bit here, smart parting blade. And so I just learned to take my time and try to give it a constant feed with my left hand here. And everything else is locked down so it can't move. There it goes. I'm cleaning up the rest of this thing on here. Okay, there we go. Done. Down here and get my piece. And you'd think it'd be pretty hot, but it really isn't. It's warm, but it's not, you know, blistering hot. And so now there's my, looks like part of my thread that's trying to come out of there, but I'll just go ahead and grind this down, file it if I need to, countersink it, and get it cleaned up. And there is a custom threaded cone nut. It's the shape of a cone. So there you guys go. The surface finish on this thing is like, you know, pretty lousy, but who cares? It's just going to hold a piece of metal. I'm going to build another one to, you know, opposite this to go into my plate. The thread will go all the way through it, and I'll be able to lock it down and support my big piece of metal that I want to paint. So there you go, you guys. That's the video for tomorrow. I'm gonna wind up trying to post this tonight if I can, so you guys can see this tomorrow. I think I'm gonna try to make my videos post every Sunday. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that. And like I said, my methods are a little bit unorthodox, but as you can see, nothing broke. I still got all 10 fingers, and I still got my eyeballs, what left of my sight I have, and everything's fine. So take it for what it's worth. Okay, you guys, I'll talk to you later. This is Ray from Razorworks saying so long. Okay, bye.